friends, it's Happy Monday here in St. Louis, Missouri. This is Lori Bradley. Take my glasses off so there's no glare. And we are here for day 21. Can you believe it is October 21st and it is the 21st project for our 31 projects in 31 days. If today's your first day joining me, I apologize, you're getting the real Lori today because it's Monday. I call Monday my weekend recovery day. And I had a big event on Saturday and I'm still exhausted. So I went to the gym this morning, I came home, and it is what it is. So hopefully that doesn't scare you. I am going to do a Christmas card today. We're going to use the Reindeer Fun Bundle. We're going to make a cute little reindeer card. He's pretty cute. So it's one of the cards that I had at my Creative Escape on Saturday. So if you are one of the few people, or not one of the few people, but one of the people who were there, you can just take a look, and that way you'll get a refresher on what card you made, or one of the cards you made. And for those of you who weren't there, you missed a great time because we had a great day. And so let's get going. I'm going to flip my camera around. I don't have my real table today, but we moved over the other wood table, and hopefully there's no bouncing and that kind of thing. My camera won't move. So let's flip it around. Get started. Apologize for the noise there. All right, so we have our Reindeer Fun. And the bundle, actually there's a suite, but the bundle, I need to make sure my camera is going on my laptop too. Okay. The bundle the suite has the bundle. There's the stamps and the dies. We did use the dies on a project last week or the week before, and we used the holly leaves. Today I've already stamped and die cut, but I'm going to show you how I did it. The reindeer, but there's a cute three-piece reindeer that you can piece together and make a cute little guy. And then here's the holly leaves that we used the other day. And then we're also going to use, I think I just scooted my paper around. We're also going to use the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper. And we're going to use the bell pattern today. And on the back of that we have cute reindeer with snowmen. Super, super cute. And then we have reindeer that are prancing across the sky. And Christmas lights. And then we have some more reindeer scenes. These are really cute for backgrounds. And then a plaid you can use for anything. And then these reindeer, some of them, actually the die cuts them out. And then presents, that's actually my favorite piece, I think, in this package. And then we have reindeers that look like this, that look like they're kind of mounted on the wall with a wreath around their neck. And then the holly leaves. And the holly leaves are what we used last time. And then just a plain, not plain, but sort of plain, Christmas tree piece. They're stuck together. Christmas tree piece in multiple shades of green that has reindeer and trees on the back. So that could easily be put together to make a coordinating card front. Okay, so let's go with our reindeer. And I'm going to show you what I did for the reindeer. I'm not going to die cut him because I already have him die cut, but I'm going to show you how easily this little guy works. And I'm going to stamp him in early espresso. I'm just going to make him brown. You could stamp him on white. You can stamp him on crumb cake, and it'd be a great color. It's entirely up to what you want for your particular card. I'm just going to, since our card's mostly white, we used white for our reindeer. So that's what he looks like. Although I didn't get his leg very well. Let's try this again. His leg isn't dark enough. It doesn't make me happy. There we go. There, now his hoof is perfect. All right, now, he also has his little jingle collar that has bells on it. And so we stamped that in real red. I'll go ahead and do that. And it fits perfectly on this little guy. He fits right in there. Except I can't see when it's a little bit in front, so I'm scooting it back toward me, and I will show you. There we go. All right. Oh, I got him a little too far backwards. Okay, let's try it one more time, because this is not hard. It's just my angle. Okay, you know what? Let me stamp it on this one, and I can color in his hoof later. I already have one stamped. I just wanted to show you how easily it fit, but when you don't have it directly in front of you, it makes it a little more difficult. There we go. All right, and then we take our die cut and we cut him out, and he looks like that. So we have our reindeer. He's ready to go. So I can close my ink pads. You probably noticed I say I close my ink pads, and that's probably because I have learned the hard way to close my ink pads, because it gets in the way. I get my finger in it. I'm not sure if you saw my post earlier about my ladies who had who had inky fingers after my event on Saturday. So it just happens. It happens. Okay, so I've got a thick white card base. I'm gonna use my thick white, and then I have cut a garden green panel. This was actually one of the panels I cut from last week, so it's the perfect size that I need. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my jingle bells down on that card base, or the panel. Make sure I put my liquid glue around the outside edges so that a little much there, so that I don't get it in the leaf, the bare part of the leaf. If I do, I'm gonna get it on my fingers. There we go. Park that. Then I'm gonna just use regular Stampin' Seal to put down the cardstock. Goodness. Hope that everybody had a great weekend. It is hard to believe that it is already October 21st and that it is still 75 degrees in St. Louis. Okay, my husband and I were just talking about Christmas decorations, because at our house, I have to tell you, we're big on Christmas here, and we have, I'm not joking, 7 Christmas trees. And so those start going up right after Halloween, because it takes a little bit to put those up. So at some point I will maybe do a walkthrough and I will show you our Christmas trees, because it's always a fun time of year around here. Okay, so we have our card base, and now I have cut 3 Nested Essentials dies, and they're all the same size. I did one in real red, one in basic white, and one in garden green. I'm just gonna place those on our card front. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put dimensionals on the back, because I think I want those to be popped up just a little bit, and I'm so excited I'm gonna use the end of my dimensional packet for this piece, because I feel a sense of accomplishment when I throw away the plastic wrapper on my envelopes or on a package of cardstock. It just makes me feel like I've accomplished something, which I know seems silly, but it's progress, right? It's progress when you've used things that you bought. All right, put all the dimensionals on, and then we'll go from there. And look, 2 small sheets are completely used now. Makes me even happier, so I'm just gonna keep going. So we cut our dimensionals on our pieces. And it doesn't matter which order you put them in. Any order is fine. But when we designed this card, we tried to keep the red off of the red and the white off of the white, just so there's a little more contrast. So we put the green down on the white bells. So we're going to put that down there. Sorry for the ambulance sound. And then the next one, we're just going to do the white. And so that way when we put the red on, then the reindeer will actually stand out on the red. And I'm going to put him right about there. Okay. Okay, so we have our 3 nested essentials. You could just do 1, you could do 0, whatever works for you. Since these are popped up kind of high, I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put some liquid glue on the back of this guy and just put him directly onto the red panel, the die cut. If you're watching and you have a request of a bundle that you'd like to see, please say so. Let me know what you might want to see. I want to make sure I show things that people are excited about. We have 10 more days, and then I'll probably back off just a little bit, but I will continue. I will for sure continue to do my lunch with Lori every Tuesday at 11:30, and then I will probably try to do a little bit more, a few more videos every week, because those seem to be a popular thing. So, okay, now I have some strips, and that's just what I'm gonna start with. And I'm gonna stamp Merry Christmas, and I have just when I cut a 4 by 5 1/4 panel for the inside of a card, I have about a 1/2 inch strip left over, and I have these, and I try to use them for things. Sometimes I can't, sometimes I get irritated and I just put them in the recycle. But a lot of times I will use them for thin sentiments like this one. So I'm gonna stamp Merry Christmas in the garden green. Didn't put a catalog on the back, so there's no cushion, so I'm hoping that the words stamp properly. There we go. Okay. Now, it's way too long, obviously, for the front of our card, so I'm just going to use my paper snips. I'm going to do an angle. And I'm going to show you. Sometimes you can eyeball it pretty easily on how to get your angles to match, but if you can't, and this is white, so I'm not sure how easy this will be to see. Let me grab a piece of colored cardstock. When you do it, you cut this little triangle off, and it looks like that. So that's the piece where it fit there. Now we want our angle on the other end to be exactly the same. So I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to scoot it down, and I'm going to put it down here, and I'm going to hold it. See if you can see that. Okay, see the triangle right there. I'm going to hold it on there. Make sure it's up against the bottom, and then I'm going to trim right across the edge of it. And that makes my angles exactly the same, because I use the same triangle to measure that angle. So that's just a little tip. And then for the green, because we're gonna kind of do those a little bit off kilter. My favorite word is cattywampus, but I did a class this summer online, and there were some Canadian ladies, because I partnered with a friend, and I used the word cattywampus, and they did not know my language. I taught them a new word. Some people like to say catty corner. Some people say kitty corner. So if you use a different phrase than any of those, let me know what your phrase is. I'm always up for a good, fun new word. All right, so we have our 2 panels. Now I'm going to put those a little bit, like I said, cattywampus, and I'm going to attach them to each other so that there is a little bit of a green space between at the top. So let's put this on. I'm going to attach the white to the green. No right or wrong angle for that one. And then we're going to attach that down here at the bottom of our reindeer. So he's going to go on like that. I would suggest putting some dimensionals on each end for this, because it's going to stand up. We can put some regular adhesive in the middle, but we need a dimensional on each end so that it doesn't bend too much, because it would pop right off in the middle. So let's put our dimensional on each end. You could use a mini dimensional. You could even cut this one in half. It's probably too big, but I think it'll work. I'm just going to say Merry Christmas. Make sure I got that guy off the end there. and off the end there. Okay, now one of the other things in our package is bells, and they are die cut. And I have a few die cut. They can be cut in, they can be red bells, they could be gold bells, they could be silver bells. We're just going to do white bells for today, and we're going to attach them using the real red and white baker's twine, which is probably one of my favorite things out of the mini catalog. It was also very popular. It was out of stock for a little bit, and the other most popular thing that's my favorite is the real red and white peppermints. If you haven't seen the peppermint embellishments, they're so cute. They were supposed to be back in stock this week, but unfortunately it's been postponed to next week. So I will order some more next week, and I actually am going to do a gift enclosure class, and I'm going to use those. So when those come back in stock, I'm going to make sure to get those. All right, I'm going to add my, I'm going to tie a loop through my two bells. I guess I should do them separately, so I have, we talked about threading linen thread and baker's twine through things the other day. And my friend who actually has worked as a seamstress, she kind of laughed at me. But actually at the time that she was watching my video, she was doing the same thing, but she was threading her sewing machine. So my timing was good. Okay, so I have my two bells. Maybe. All right, and I'm going to tie those together just so I don't mess up and them come unthreaded. Just going to make sure they're going the right direction, and I'm going to tie a knot at the top, and then I'll show you how I'm going to tie my bow. All right, so I have my two bells, both facing the same way. And actually, let's just put a tiny drop of glue right on the back, or on this one. Just a tiny little drop, so that when I put my bell on here, it stays in place. That's all. It doesn't have to be attached, but that way it stays in place and you can see both bells like they're ringing. Okay, so I've got my knot at the top, and I've got a little bit of a tail. I'm just going to take some loops. Oop, paper snips. Paper snips and ribbon aren't always conducive for great cutting. So I have my bow, and I'm just going to tie it in that knot right there. I have my legs, tails, I guess those are tails. Tails of my knot. I'm going to tie that around. So we have a real red and white bow, and we have our two white bells. There's two different sizes. We've got those tied. We've got our fun little tails. You can trim those if you want. You can make those smaller. Let's do that. Just snip, snip, and then we're going to put those on with a glue dot right here, kind of right at the bottom. So I have my glue dots. I'm just going to add my glue dot to the back of my bow. Pull that off together and put that right on my card. All right, so we have our bells, we have our bow. There we go. Make sure I pull the right thing there. All right, so we have our bells and our bow. Now, I have one more little shiny thing for it. The real red and white peppermints actually match the sweet, but I'm going to use the Drusy Embellishments, and we used these yesterday. If you were watching yesterday, we used the gold ones. Today I'm going to use the silvery clear ones, and I'm going to color those. And we've talked about coloring ribbons, and we've talked about coloring other things, but I'm going to color the Drusy dots. And they're a little bit rough, so make sure that you color with the side of your marker. But this is real red, but I think the color, the real red is a little bit more pink. So I'm going to, wait, yeah, I'm going to try the light cherry cobbler, and obviously somebody else tried the light cherry cobbler, so that might not be my right color. But I'm just going to color that on the side. Now, why do you think I'm making it red? Any guesses what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to put that right on my reindeer nose. And we're going to have a Rudolph. I might actually come back in with my darker cherry cobbler just to make sure the red is dark enough. There we go. I think that's better. So now you can see that we have a Rudolph with a shiny nose, but let's go ahead and make another couple of, that looks terrible. Doesn't that look terrible? I need new red cherry cobbler markers, obviously. All right, sometimes you just don't know these things until it's too late. All right, this is not ideal because they're, let's see if I can get partial red color. This is what happens when I have my markers out at class. They get a little bit messed up, or a lot messed up, as the case may be. So just make sure that you use the side of your marker, not the tip, because it will end up looking like that. I'd like to, you know, sometimes I'd like to choke people, but you just never know who to choke if you didn't see it happen. I'm only kidding. I would never choke anyone, and I would never say anything. It's just one of the hazards that when all your stuff gets used, things happen. Things happen. One of my sweet ladies who came to my event this weekend, she had used her Take to the Sky, the airplane suite. She had cut some things when she was at my last retreat, and she lost her propeller die. And it's tiny. It's a tiny little thing that's probably not much longer than 3 of those together. And she lost it, and she was heartbroken. And so she asked me if I would bring mine this month when we had our crop, if I would bring it so that she could cut some more propellers. And I was like, absolutely. And she dropped it, and she thought she lost it. And it was just one of those things. I didn't freak out. I thought it'll turn up or it won't, and we'll just be happy about it. And sure enough, it did turn out. So that was a happy ending of our story. So, all right, here we have Rudolph saying Merry Christmas. We have the Reindeer Fun Bundle, the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper, the real red and white baker's twine, which is so cute. And then the bells go with the bundle. And we used our Drusy Embellishments to color and make a Rudolph nose. So thank you so much for watching day 21. And we will be back tomorrow at 11:30, I hope, for lunch with Lori, and at 2 p.m. For day number 22. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.